guys, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about fear. Fear is my old friend, starting from decades ago when I decided to change my career from being a neurologist to work in the industry, and then to 7 years ago when I decided to move to Europe and build my life here from ground zero, to 2 years ago I started to share my experiences and lessons I learned on social media, and right now this YouTube channel as well. So every time I started to do something new, this old friend will show up. So I wanted to share with you some of the concrete techniques that I used every time to build a healthy relationship with it. Before we jump to the techniques, I'd like to share with you an interesting story that I find very much represent fear. So it's a story about the African lions and how they hunt. When a group of young lions go to hunt, they will always bring an old female lion. And this grandma has lost all her teeth, so she could no longer bite or kill, but she still has one of her most characteristic features, that is her roar. So the strategy would be the group of young lions will be hiding in the bush. The grandma will be lying in the open air and the prey will be somewhere in the middle. And when the grandma let out her characteristic roar, the prey will get scared and running towards the opposite direction, which is its own death. So this is very interesting if you think about it. When you really walk towards what you fear, in the end, you will find that it's just a useless old grandma. That's time and time again what I find out about fear. So I would like to share with you the concrete techniques I use to conquer fear, organized by a module that I often used whenever I bump into difficult or confusing situations, which is a triangle. And the triangle has 3 points: being, structure, logic, and reality, actions. So very much corresponding to our spirit, our mind, and our body. So whatever problems you have in life right now, you could very much analyze from these 3 aspects. Connected with your own being is very much aligned with the spiritual side of you. If you analyze problems from the aspect of being, you will more focused on what you actually feel like, what is your true calling. So if you are truly thinking from the perspective of being, actually you are already content, you're already satisfied. If you have that thing, it's good. If you don't, it's also fine. So you do not come from a place of lack. That already reduces a lot of fear and solve a lot of other problems. But also this is a state that is very difficult to reach. The other point of this angle is structure and logic in mind. So on the contrary of many spiritual schools of teaching, I do not think that you should, abandon your mind, you should abandon your brain, you should ignore it. Opposite to that, if you're still living in the society, if you still wanted to maintain a healthy interpersonal relationship, your brain is really helpful. It's really important. You cannot just abandon it and, just counting on your state of being to solve all your realistic problems. No, you still need your brain. You need your logic, you need strategy. It's very helpful. And the last point of this triangle is reality and action and everything physical that you could touch and you could feel, that you have manifested. You wanted to manifest something, then you need to focus on your reality. You need to take actions. It's not like you meditate all day and since it's gonna be manifested, which is one of the big mistakes many people make if they solely focus on the spiritual side. You need to take actions in order to align the 3 points of this triangle. So coming back to the topic of fear, I will share these 5 techniques organized by this triangle. So the first 2 method is from the aspect of mind and structure. The first method is called reframe your narrative. Very often, if you wanted to do something new and you are afraid to start to do it or try it, it is because something bad happened in the past. A failure, a breakup, unpleasant interactions with your friends, a failed investment, a really bad relationship with your family, whatever it is, it's just failures, and you continues to use that failure as part of your identity, and you start to think about problems and solutions from that perspective, which will not be very helpful if you wanted to really step up and try something new, which you should be doing, because I assume you wanted to face fear because you're already in a deadlock for so long and you know that's the right thing for you to do. So in order to make that step, you need to reframe your narratives. You need to stop thinking about that failure as a failure. Instead, reframe it as a lessons, really valuable lessons that you have learned in your life, because let's be honest, we are all humans for the first time, and there are so many lessons that we need to learn in this life because there are so many complicated topics we need to deal with in this life. So it's pretty normal that you make mistakes and you continue to make that mistakes repeatedly until at a point you learn your lessons and you grow out of it. So you need to reframe your narratives, thinking about it as a stepping stone for you to step up and thrive in your next stage. The second method I want to share is called fear setting. Fear setting is a method I learned from Tim Ferriss. He shared it in one of his public speech. So instead of leaving all your fear inside of your brain, right now you just take out a piece of paper and started to write down concretely what you fear exactly. What is it that you fear? And if this horrible situation happened, what can you do? And if you cannot do anything about it, what will be the worst result? And if the worst result happened, is it irreversible? So this step will force you to put something that seems so giant, this black devouring creature inside of your brain, you just put it and turn it into a piece of paper. And now this is so concrete, your fear. You just need to deal with all these questions on this paper. So that would make all these abstract, ruminating thoughts much more simple and stopping that loop. The third method is coming from the state of being. In order to do something that you fear, you really need to focus on the part that fascinates you. So I assume whatever things that you wanted to do, there's always a part of it that fascinates you, otherwise you wouldn't want to do it. But there is another side of it that is intimidating. So what you need to do is really to switch your focus on the fascinating part. And once you could do that, you will quickly find out you forget about the fear, because the exciting part are so much fun that you will quickly enjoy the fun side of this scary thing. Things that make you fear and the things that excites you, they share the same neural circuit. So very often you could feel that if you fear something, it is exactly the same thing that got you excited. So you need to choose. First, you already need to choose something that, whether it's a hobby extended into your career, or it is just a passion that you always wanted to pursue, just focus on why you like it, why you love it so much. And once you think about the joy of it, you will forget about fear. Now you need to take actions, and the fourth method is called small dose exposure, which draws a reference to exposure therapy, because you now face a big fear. It's very difficult to from the very beginning set up a big goal and say, I wanted to achieve this big goal, that's just too much for you at this stage. So you just set up a really small goal to just make yourself familiarize with this new thing. Whether it's, for example, talking to the camera 5 minutes per day, whether you want to share it or not, or if you are a writer, just write whatever is on your mind and post it, 5 sentences that you find valuable at this moment, 5 lessons you wanted to share to the 20 years old you. Set a really small goal for yourself and start to get exposed to that thing without putting too much attention to the result, so that it's basically just like play and you start to play with it. And the 5th method is also really important, but sometimes easy to forget, to close this loop. What I call is collect evidence. You need to collect some evidence in order to keep giving yourself some fuels to continue with it. So for example, like 2 years ago, when I newly started to create content, I started to write long articles and also created a digital product and start to sell on Chinese platforms. Everything is really new to me. And I collected all the feedback, positive feedbacks from people following me, no matter how small it is. Sometimes it's really just a comment like, oh, I really like this piece of article. Or it is when I had the first testimony from clients that I coached, or I started to sell the first product that I had 100 sales. So every milestone, every little evidence, I will take a screenshot, and I created a Notion page specifically for that, and I will paste it in this page. And with time go by, whenever I feel discouraged or feel this is going nowhere, I will open this page, I will read everything to just remind myself that actually I'm doing pretty well. And things are not always gonna be smooth, but from the trend, I'm doing well and I'm receiving some really positive feedback. So why not continue to do it? This step is really important if you're building a long-term project, because in the middle of it, you might be doing something foundational like a system update that will cause you weeks without an immediate feedback. And then this page will help you. It will remind you. It will keep you motivated and keep going. Here also you need to be careful, of course, not to be addicted to external validation and feedbacks. But from the very beginning, I would say for someone who just started to do something new, this feedback is still very important. So this is the 5 techniques that I often used whenever I met this old grandma and she starts to roar at me. If you have any other ideas, mindset, stories, techniques that you would like to share with me or everyone else, please feel free to write in the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Ciao!